and the club coach. We are honored to have two exceptional trainers with us who will be sharing their knowledge and expertise on these topics. A club mentor is a seasoned Toastmaster who selflessly guides, supports, and encourages new chartered clubs on their path to success. They share their wisdom, offer invaluable insights, and help new clubs navigate their journey of excellence. Our trainer for the club mentor session is distinguished Toastmaster Jyotika Shetty, who has not only excelled in her own Toastmasters journey, but has also taken leadership roles to support others in their pursuit of excellence. It's an honor to have her here to impart her knowledge and experience. With a decade of experience in Toastmasters community, she's served in various leadership roles at both the club and the district level. And she's also a certified pathways mentor. As a three-time Triple Crown awardee, DTM Jyotika's commitment to personal growth and leadership development is truly exemplary. Currently, she holds positions in District 127 and District 121, having chartered three clubs in Dubai and India. Please join me in welcoming DTM Jyotika Shetty as she shares her expertise on club mentor role. Over to you.
Thank you very much, Anup. Oh, wow. I look quite different sitting there. So thank you very much, Anup, for that lovely introduction, and a warm good evening to everyone present here today. And it's indeed a pleasure to come back to my home district and impart my knowledge on mentoring. Call it a coincidence, Anup, that in another 3 days' time, I'll be delivering my project on mentoring for the third time, in my third path. And each time there's someone's video that is, I think audio is on. Can you mute everyone, please? Thank you. So call it a coincidence, I'll be delivering my project. And each time I deliver this particular project, it's kind of, it infuses a kind of nostalgia. And it's kind of like a reality check on 10 years that I have spent in Toastmasters. It kind of gives me a reality check on the length and breadth that I have traveled in this journey called Toastmasters. And thank you to all my mentors and mentees and the clubs that I have mentored, 5 so far, 3 chartered and 5 mentored. I must say that I am what I am today because of the mentoring journey that I have gone through. So essentially what we will cover today is something similar to the mentoring process that we go through in the clubs. But today is slightly different. At the end of the day, the objective is the same, but how we approach mentoring will be slightly different, because today we're going to talk about club level mentoring. Now, before that, let me ask a question. How many of you have already mentored a club so far? I don't know why I can't put this in on gallery mode. I don't know how to operate this, but is there anyone here who's already been a mentor at the club, club mentor? Yes, Paddy?
Yes, yes.
All right, great. So we have a few members who are already mentors of the club. So that's a great start. For those of you who are not mentors as yet, probably at the end of the session, you might think of being a mentor of one of the clubs, new clubs. Now, before I begin, I'd like to say that I would like to today consciously categorize mentors who opt to mentor new clubs in 2 different categories. And I do this deliberately. There are people who actually want, or there are members who want to mentor clubs to achieve their DTM credit. And there are mentors who want to mentor because they are passionate about mentoring. And I say this because a lot what happens after that depends on what your objective is. Whatever your objective is, the ultimate goal of mentoring must be one. The reason I'm using this word must is because quality meetings, quality clubs, and sustenance of the club is the ultimate goal of Toastmasters. And anything that we do in our life must also have a long-term vision and sustenance of any project that we undertake. And therefore, whatever your reasons are for taking up this mentoring role, remember, the ultimate objective is to leave the club strong and a sustainable club. And therefore, today we're going to touch upon a few topics, or rather, can I share this? Oh, it's a little.
You can click and share.
Okay. All right. Can you all see my screen now?
Yes.
You all can see my screen and it's clear, right? You all can read it, right? All right. So the next topic are these different items that I'm going to look at. First of all, I'll be looking at the official duties as a mentor that you will be doing. But before that, I'll also set the stage to what mentoring is and give you a brief idea, or rather a little more detailed idea on what mentoring is. And then we'll talk about what are the official duties of a mentor. So if you plan to take up club mentoring of a new club, then these are the fundamental or the basic duties or basic responsibilities that you'll have to deliver. So first we'll look at the official duties. Second, we'll look at the club quality club meetings. What is your contribution with regards to quality club meetings, and how you can help the club or coach the club or guide the club to build and maintain membership. Then we'll talk about recognition, how to recognize your members, the education program, and then the distinguished club program. We'll get into this a bit in detail. First of all, let's look at what is a mentor. This mentor is obviously a person, it's not an item. So a mentor, like Anup has already given a brief idea and made it a little easier. A mentor is someone who shares their expertise and knowledge with one or more people who have less experience. Now, there is often a confusion between mentor and coach, and I will not discuss too much on the coach because you have Vinod coming in for that, DTM Vinod coming in for that. But a mentor is basically someone who does not necessarily come with a certification demonstrating that you have this particular expertise, but you actually come from a space of experience. So you have developed or you have accumulated that experience over a period of time, and that could be in Toastmasters or in your work area or in your career, any area of your life. But today we're going to restrict it to Toastmasters. So you come with a bit of experience and you share that expertise and knowledge with people or members who have less experience. Typically in this situation, they are new members because it's a new club that we are talking about. So you are the mentor of a new club who practically are coming with absolutely no experience. Now, to set the stage, a mentor, any club that is chartered will require 2 mentors. So it starts off like you have 2 sponsors, you have 2 mentors, and 2 sponsoring clubs, right? We'll talk about who the sponsors are, but mentors are typically those members who come in once the clubs are chartered. And ideally, if you look at your DTM, the route to DTM, one of the requirements for you to complete your DTM is to finish mentoring role, which is for a minimum of 6 months period, or a coach, but we'll talk about mentor here. So what is the benefit of mentoring? Ideally, people think that every mentee needs a mentor because they grow. But I would say that I have learned a lot being a mentor. There was a time when my second and my third speech initially 10 years back fell flat because I didn't even consult a mentor. And that is it. And after 3 speeches, I was given a mentee. And that is the time I actually started looking at the objectives. Now, I don't recommend that you do that, but one of the ways that you grow as a mentor is sharing your expertise. Which other platform gives you that knowledge to share your expertise? This is also your opportunity to translate values and strategies to product actions. We talk about the 4 core values, which are integrity, respect, service, and excellence. Theoretically, as much as we speak, this is your opportunity to even convert it into action, to ensure the club actually implements the strategies that you have, the values that you demonstrate, or rather Toastmasters talks about, into their actual club environment. Prove yourself as a valuable leader. Great opportunity to be a leader. You do not hold a position as a voting member, but you are a leader who leads without authority. This is your opportunity to invest in the future of Toastmasters. Imagine you are contributing to the sustenance of the whole Toastmasters ecosystem, that is indeed a privilege. And therefore, it's your opportunity to invest in the future of Toastmasters, obtain fresh perspectives. Often we are rigid of the way we do things. We stick to our own way of thinking. Having fresh perspectives with new people coming in, new way of doing things, very big at the recent stage in terms of Toastmastering, you have no choice but to accept their perspective in terms of being creative and allowing them to grow. So this is not a matter of you have a choice or not, but this is an opportunity to have a fresh perspective. Build teamwork skills. You are leading a team. So you also sharpen your saw here by building teamwork and skills. You also apply leadership skills in new situations. You'll have ample opportunities where there could be challenges, there could be good, not so good experiences, but how are you going to demonstrate as a leader? So this is your opportunity to be that leader in a new situation. And obviously, earn credit towards your DTM. Now, let's look at how a mentor is appointed. Ideally, when you charter a club, there is a form that goes to Toastmasters. That is an application to organize a Toastmasters club. There is a provision to enter the mentor's name there. Now, if that is not done, the district director or the club board director sends a mail to new clubs at toastmasters.org informing them that so-and-so is the mentor of the club. That has to be done 60 days from the day of the chartering of club. Now, this could be a little debatable. What if I have a lead and I set up a club? Obviously, you can go back to your club board director and discuss this matter in detail. However, the onus lies on the district director and the club board director to actually appoint the mentor. You could go and just check that out. However, there's a catch here. Once you finish your 6 months term with the club, there has to be a mail that has to go to Toastmasters to claim your credit. To claim your credit. And there is a particular form which you have to fill in. Now, this form particularly has to be signed by the chartering ExCom member, now the officer, that is the president, the secretary, or one of the VPs. So one person has to sign this particular form together with a mentor and goals. Now, let me tell you, take you back to a story here. I had not recently, about 3 years back, experienced one of the clubs which was newly chartered, wherein the mentor went with a form to get it signed. And the mentor refused to, and the club refused to sign this particular form, for the simple reason being that they were not mentored well. So if you think that just being a mentor is enough, it is absolutely not. You'll have to put in to get what you want. And therefore, it is the prerogative of the club to sign or not sign if you have not performed the duties well. And therefore, please be true to what the role you are accepting, because it is a commitment of 6 months, even more if you wish to stay, but the minimum requirement set by Toastmasters is 6 months. So this is the way it is chartered. Obviously, you can discuss with your club board director for more details on this. Now, how is the approach? Now, what's the difference between a sponsor and a mentor? A sponsor is typically someone who gets the lead and follows the lead, or rather not gets the lead. If they're the ones who follow the lead, the demo meetings done, they help the club to get chartered, all the documentation, the recruit members, they generate interest, all of those administrative tasks and the implementation task in terms of setting up the club is done by the sponsor. And thereafter, the slow transition is done towards the mentor. However, the recommended path is that the mentor is involved in the process even before the club is chartered. That is, for the demonstration, the demo meeting, because that allows you to get to know who the members are. So there's an easy transition and the members are not taken in for a surprise. So it's recommended that you are also involved in the demo meetings and you get to know who the people are. And thereafter, it's easy for you to take over. Now, as a mentor, you'll be asked multiple questions by the club, many questions. I wish I could show you those questions, but due to the paucity of time, I will not show you those questions. But it is your endeavor. Your endeavor is not to give them ready-made answers. Your endeavor is to show them the path where they can find the answers for themselves. And therefore, Distinguished Club Program Progress is one such place where they can find their own progress. And the dashboard online is the place where you have to direct them. Before that, you also have the club program document, which they have to refer to. The club constitution is another document, which has to be read by the officers. I would say all the members, but the officers at the least. They have to get acquainted, have to get accustomed to the way the club is operated. As you know, every club is a unit on its own, and it has its own constitution, and familiarizing them with these documents is imperative. And therefore, the Distinguished Club Program Progress, that is one dashboard which you'll have to familiarize. Now, what I'm trying to tell you is, are those assistants or those the support system that you can create as a mentor so that you can conduct your role effectively. You can also show them downloadable forms and documents that are available online. I cannot pinpoint on which one. As and when they ask for, everything is available online. Show them how the administrative task also is done. Now, administrative tasks could be like sending the membership form to Toastmasters, sending the the dues, when to pay the dues. All of that knowledge you'll have to provide them so that they can get things done on their own going forward. Current and back issues of leader letter. Now, leader letter is something, if ever you come across this concept, leader letter is basically a notification, a regular notification that is initiated by Toastmasters. I'll just show you where it is available online. You don't need to be a club officer to get this. You can always go online, and this is where you have to go. Log into toastmasters.org, membership, Leadership Central, and Club Officer tool. On the left-hand side, you see leadership letter. Why it is important to know this is, this talks about every communication that is given at the club level and at the district level. And this is used to appraise your members in the club so you don't miss out on anything. So any past issues are there, any current issues are there, let them go and read it. So this is something that is a valuable tool. Similarly, there are a lot of other tools that is valuable there. You can go and show them how to pick them out. Now let's touch upon the first official duty. What is your official duty as the mentor of the club? Two things. Ensure the club is strong and fully functional. Confirm officers understand their duties and have the tools they need to perform them. As simple as these two sentences sound, or rather they may not sound simple, but it looks very small and crisp. But the entire success of the club is encapsulated in these two sentences. What do you mean by a strong and a fully functional club? 20 members at the minimum is something that is recommended by Toastmasters, because with this, you'll be able to function in a good manner, have good leadership, you'll have good members taking up club rules, and every single thing will be easily done when you have 20 members in the club. Now, what's important for me to highlight here is not only tell them what to do, but also tell them or appraise them of the consequences of the action and the inaction of their duties. For example, if a membership form is not sent on time to Toastmasters, what happens? When they know the consequence, they'll be able to understand, or rather comprehend, the intensity of the entire program. Many times people compare, there is a constant, I've seen problems happening during the renewal times, when the treasurer or the VP membership fails to meet that deadline. Maybe it's a new club, they will not know the implication, but there is an implication if you do not renew on time, right? And the implication is that the club could actually be a club not in good standing. It may not be able to even participate in a club contest. And therefore, if you do not send the membership form on time, the member may not receive their pack on time. They may not they may be ineligible to be competing in contest, also ineligible to serve as a club officer, and a lot of other things. So in a nutshell, not only tell them what to do, but also tell them what is the implication if they do not do it. So ideally, your duty or your responsibility is also to give them those nitty-gritty hidden details, which actually becomes the bigger detail in terms of consequence. Another thing is the club's choice. Now, invocation. Invocation is basically a prayer that they say at the beginning of the meeting. Now, I didn't see this much in District 105 as we were, and now in District 127. But when I came to India, I saw a lot of clubs here starting a meeting with a prayer, a very standard prayer, no biases, a very standard prayer. Now, as a mentor, what you could do is give them suggestions, or not suggestions, give them options that this is possible. It is for the club to actually deliberate and take an action or take a decision whether they want to do it or not. So remember, as a mentor, do not enforce anything. You're there to give them the options, the creativity, the ideas. At the end of the day, it's their decision. Now, pledge to the flag and patriotic oath is something that is followed in the United States of America, where they take the pledge to the flag and patriotic oath. We do not do this here. However, I've retained it just to give you an idea. The best of meeting awards. You all know that we give awards to the best speaker. Now, this is not something that is written in writing in Toastmasters. It's an option that is available to you. If you choose to do it, you can do it. If you do not choose to do it, it's totally up to you. So give this as an option to make the meeting much more interesting. The second point, which is the quality club meetings. Here, you'll have to work with the VP education to educate them on how a meeting is prepared, how the agenda is prepared, how well in advance it has to be prepared, how it is publicized. Publicizing is a little later, but for now, how you can plan a club meeting. The club meeting program ideas and tools. I'm going on third gear because I just have about 30 minutes in total. So I'm going on third gear. So apologies for rushing on these items. But the club meeting program ideas and tools are those tools that you know of. For example, there is one meeting planning software that is available online. If you can go into toastmastersclubsoftware.com, this is a meeting tool, organizing tool that's available free of charge. I personally do not have any experience with it, but if you wish to, you please go and check it out. I understand it makes meetings easier. You can track the roles and a lot of things. So these are the ideas and tools that you can show the club how they can make their meet better. Create a member service perspective. Now, what is a member service perspective? Every person who joins your club is joining with a purpose to grow. They have an objective in mind. If you make the meeting interesting and valuable for their learning, they'll stay with you. Otherwise, they'll find someone else to go and pursue their ambition. So the only way that you can do is make it much more interesting. And interesting in the sense, upholding the quality of the meeting and the whole program of Toastmasters. And one of the best ways to do it is educate them. Conduct education sessions in the club. And one of the ways to ask these clubs or encourage them to conduct education session is to refer to the Successful Club Series manual. There are a lot of education sessions in this particular manual, like how to evaluate different roles and a lot of things. I can't just think of all of that now, but there are a lot of education sessions that you can pick from this particular manual and ask them to conduct it or deliver it in the session. Now, new clubs, they'll not be able to do it. So what will you do? Show them the way that they can bring in senior members. They could be also sponsors. They could also be mentors who can give them the meeting, who can give them the sessions. There are also sponsoring clubs where you'll have the senior members, and ideally the sponsoring clubs will have to do that. They'll have to come in and pitch in their services to the club where they can give education sessions and also replicate, if not replicate, at least give the assistance that is required. Now, how can you build and maintain membership? Obviously, for this, you'll have to work closely with the VP membership. And one of the first factors you'll have to emphasize is best efforts to maintain 20 members in the club. Like I mentioned, it helps you to fill the roles. It helps you in leadership because you have a fresh energy, fresh, the leader is coming in, you have a fresh perspective, you have different, you're able to maintain a creative aura in the club and all of fun end up. But the emphasis also has to be to foster membership building culture. Now, when you set up a new club, often what they say is, their emphasis is ideally to just learn and move along. They do not know that they also have to build membership. If you do not tell them, how will they know? So you'll have to inculcate or foster that membership building culture, right? Membership building culture, as you know, that Toastmasters, we'll talk about that. Toastmasters has different education, has different membership building activities that they come up with. We'll talk in the next slide. But develop that culture or that habit that building membership in the club is very important from the very beginning. Just 20 members who have chartered the club are not enough to keep the club going. Strive to gain new members. That is a continuous process. Now, what is the benefit of building membership? I already mentioned that you have a stronger leadership base. You have more people coming in, so you have more leaders coming in. Original personalities. People come with different personalities, right? And that brings in a bouquet of personality in the club. And therefore, you also avoid kind of having that Polaroid view on one particular way of leadership. So you have different ideas. So original personalities come in, ideas come in. There's a lot of new touch to the meeting. It makes it interesting. And you have fun club meetings when you have more people in the club. Now, how to build membership? There are obviously, you may know that there are already 4 ways in which Toastmasters have developed their membership contest or membership building activity. One is the annual individual member sponsors. What is annual individual member sponsors? I'm not sure how many of you really know about it, but if your members sponsor when they bring in members, and they bring in guests, convert them into members, they get an award for minimum 5 sponsors. So when you send the membership form to Toastmasters, there's a space for putting in the sponsor's name. So you put in the sponsor's name, and when they hit 5 number, automatically Toastmasters will send them a pin. Like I had received mine 2 years back. When they get 10 members, they receive another pin. When they have 15 members, they get another pin. So encourage this. And also you can have contests within the bigger framework of Toastmasters membership building activity. For example, if they have the annual individual member sponsors, create a contest to encourage them amongst your members. Similarly, you have Smedley Award, Talk Up Toastmasters, you have Beat the Clock at different junctures. Create your own contest that is attached to this particular Smedley Award. Create a contest within your framework, within your club. And there are a lot of membership building resources online as well, like the Success 101. I want to show you this, and I have a small screenshot here. Now, I'm not going to go into the details of this, but I just want you to draw your attention to one small thing here, which is conduct a membership drive on the left-hand side, just below implement a membership building program, wherein it says hold a membership building program and conduct speechcraft. Now, what I have noticed is speechcraft is quite dominant in this part of the world. I'm not sure how dominant it is, because when I was there, I wouldn't see a lot of speechcrafts that was being conducted. Speechcraft is an 8-week program that is conducted in organizations or in communities where you cannot set up a club. And it's a great way to spread the word of Toastmasters. So what happens is, at the end of the 8th week, you have interested members who would like to join your club. So that's a great membership building activity. Another way is, here they even charge for speechcraft. So this is a great way to build a corpus. Obviously, the CGD can add in here a little later, whether you can charge, but ideally, it is allowed to be charged for speechcraft, and that is a great way to build corpus for your club funds. So there are various ways. This is a form, this is a document which is called as Success 101. Please go to it and find out ways in which you can build your membership. You'll have to also promote it. Just not building a plan is not enough. You'll have to have some promotional strategies. For this, you have to work together with the VP Education, the VP Membership, and VP PR. Brainstorm promotional strategies that can attract new members. The easiest way to do it, or the simpler way to do it, is social media. Create flyers, post them. Now, a long time ago, we had something called as Meetup. I don't know if it's still existing, but Meetup was a great way to source our members. And we had many members who joined us through this source. This also helps the club operate more efficiently, because when you when you announce a club meeting with a flyer and with a lot of publicity, you have no choice but to operate efficiently, right? Have club members, have the agenda done, everything done. So give them the idea that this promotional strategy must be implemented so that they can also run efficiently. Also, the current members are well informed and they also remain interested. So this is a great way to do it. Now, in the case of corporate clubs, it can be a slightly different. The same strategy may not apply. In that case, you will have to sit with them and brainstorm as to what is the best strategy that you can come out with. I always say the best way to retain members, the best way to build your membership is to retain your membership. And this is a great way to build the longevity and the performance of your club. Member retention is important to build sustenance of a club, performance of a club, builds continuity, leadership continuity, assures that you have a strong leadership base, otherwise they struggle. There are no people to take up XCOM roles. So member retention is imperative. It is the most critical factor. And therefore, please focus on the club quality. And at the end of the day, please know that everyone is responsible to build club membership and not just the XCOM or not just the VP membership. It is the entire club that is responsible. And that is the sentiment that you'll have to inculcate or develop, or the culture that you'll have to develop in the club. Recognition, a great way to encourage members. Recognize the members for their achievements. One of the ways to do it is populate everything in a pathways achievement chart. Now, just a disclaimer, this is something that you'll have to buy from online. But the most simpler way to do it is whenever someone achieves a level, make a flyer, announce it, enjoy it, celebrate it, and also clap for them in the club meetings. Now, in the announcement, as far as the corporate clubs is concerned, could be a little different. They could probably have their own newsletter, internal newsletter. They could have their internal email system where they can announce the accomplishments of the members. But at the end of the day, a corporate club also is a Toastmasters club, and this culture must be developed. The education program, clubs to provide. Now, one of the things that you'll have to tell them is a club has to deliver a thorough orientation to new members at least twice a year. This could serve as an a great guideline to new members and a refresher to the old members, or veteran members rather. So a thorough orientation has to be conducted, for which you could probably show them how it is done, and then they could carry forward from there on. Also give them the guidance for DTM award. Now, when I joined Toastmasters, I joined for a reason, make friends. But it was not too late before I understood that I really love speaking and I would love to be a speaker going forward. And this was 10 years back. At that time, DTM was not in my radar at all. And I didn't even know. And it took me a while to achieve this DTM, not because I was inefficient, but I didn't really have that interest or that real interest to pursue my DTM. Now, it's not bad to pursue a DTM, because at the end of the day, when you have a goal, you move towards a goal. So this is your blueprint towards moving towards the right direction. Therefore, please give them the information of how they can achieve their DTM. Excuse me. Last but not the least is the Distinguished Club Program. Please educate the club with regards to the Distinguished Club Program. First of all, make sure where they can find this document from. This is available online. You can always go back to CGD in case if you do not know where to find it. Make sure where this is available. And also show them how they can prepare this club success plan and how they can read the Distinguished Club Program document. Ensure that they know everything about it, right? And also show them how to plan it and use this as a follow-up tool or a great tool to assess their metrics of accomplishment. Because when they are able to measure, they will be able to also grow in their entire journey. At the end of the day, before I leave you, I would like to say that the journey of mentoring this particular knowledge is just a foundational stone for you to start off your mentoring journey. And this is not the ultimate. Your primary responsibility is to nurture the club, train the club, and set an example to the club. And with this, you will be able, I mean, I would say that it's practically impossible to have answers to or answer every single aspect of a new club, every problem they have. But what is important to do is give them or show them the way, the direction to help them build themselves so they can face the obstacles, for which your approach in guiding the club must be to create an environment of sustenance where they can build their knowledge in such a way that even when they face obstacles, they're able to handle it on their own. Wish you all the best, and I hope that you become one of the best mentors in the club and are able to grow clubs in leaps and bounds. But don't forget, it's always the quality that matters and sustenance of the club, looking at a long-term vision. Over to you.
Thank you so much, DTM Jyotika. That was quite a segment where a lot of practical tips, and it was quite informative, especially on the details of what a club mentorship is all about. So thank you so much for sharing your insights and valuable experience with all the Toastmasters in District 127. Now, moving on, let's continue with our journey of learning. We have the next session, which is focusing on another crucial role called club coach. Now, a club coach is an unsung hero in the world of Toastmasters. They step up when club faces challenges, serving as catalyst for its revival and growth. These individuals dedicate their time, energy, and expertise to help struggling clubs find their footing and flourish once more. Our trainer for the club coach session is a distinguished Toastmaster whose commitment to our organization has left a lasting impact. He brings wealth of knowledge, experience to this role, making him a perfect choice to guide us through the intricacies of club coaching. DTM Vinod Panikar is head of sales at a packaging company. He embarked on Toastmasters journey in 2015 and since made a significant impact in our organization. His contributions extend beyond his club, having served as past Division B director, past president and VP membership. Currently, he holds the role of VP Public Relations at Take Debate Club. DTM Vinod is not just a master trainer, but also a Pathways ambassador, known for his expertise in debating, evaluations, tackling table topics, and a lot more. We are privileged to have DTM Vinod Panikar with us today to share his insights on club coach role. I would like to welcome DTM Vinod to the virtual stage. Give him a huge round of applause, please. Thank you so much, and over to you. DTM. Over to you, DTM Vinod. You're muted.
Thank you very much. Am I audible, Toastmaster Anup now?
Yes, you are.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. District 127. And thank you very much, DTM Jyotika. It's always a pleasure to listen to you, to all the details and structure. And some of the slides I will be sharing would be same. So before coming to this particular, session of club coach, I want to share two premises. What I believe, as it's a debate season, so let me share two premises, then I will get into the club coaching session. The first premise is what Dr. Alcis Medley had said. Toastmasters is a laboratory. And I want every Toastmaster to at least keep this poster somewhere and look at it and think that this is a place, it's a laboratory where we conduct our public speaking and leadership experiments. Okay, so this is my first premise. The second premise is Toastmasters is a means to an end. And now link this to premise. And when I say it is a means to an end, it is not what you are learning in a Toastmasters club. It is actually what you are doing with that learning outside the Toastmaster clubs is what a club president or the excom need to be more caring rather than completing just the speeches and the other point. That is my personal opinion. Some may differ, but I truly believe that what Dr. Lassie Smedley had started this club, that you become better outside. The name Toastmaster itself was your ability to give toast in front of your family members. So today the entire world is your family, right? So ensure that you remember first this. Now, club coach, I can finish that in 2 sentences. What is it, why is it, and the qualification. But I want you to show a bigger picture of the club coach and what are the possibilities and what are the competencies and skills that you can learn as a coach, and where can you use this in real life. Okay, so let me share a simple definition which is not from Toastmasters, but this is from International Coaching Federation. Okay, now the coaching federation says whatever the coach is, it's a different. In Toastmaster, when I show, it would be a little bit different. But this is the bigger picture that I want everybody sitting in this room to look. They have more than 50,000 coaches in the world in ICF, and this industry is going to boom like anything. Okay, the next boom is going to be of solopreneurs, and most of them are going to be coaches, and around 60% of them are women. Now, look at this definition. ICF defines coaching as partnering with clients in a thought-provoking and creative process that inspires them to maximize their personal and professional potential. Okay. I will not talk about ICF more. I just wanted to give you that big picture, because I personally believe that unless and until I know where can this path lead me other than this particular station, I will be hesitant to go there. I need options. What are the things? And this idea came from one of my very good friends from District 86, which club's meeting is currently going on, Leadership Speaks in Canada. He has won few awards for being the club coach of the year. And he has really revived few clubs, and he's doing some amazing things even with our current club. So I asked him a lot of questions, that what is it that the real club coach should do apart from what Toastmasters has been saying, right? So he gave me a lot of insights, and that is what I would request you to ask me during questions, because now I will focus on the slides, because I would like you to go through what Toastmasters is expecting from you, right? Remember, Toastmaster is an organization which caters to 18 plus to 80 plus. So how difficult a challenge it is for them to create a curriculum that is understood by everyone. But to me, people in Middle East, most of us are expats. We have a pretty high IQ. Like comparatively, whatever Toastmasters had taken as an average, we have 10 points, 20 points much higher. So we need much more than what Toastmasters says that this is what you need to do. Okay, that is why I showed you that big picture. Now let's go and see what Toastmaster is basically saying. Right? So there is this particular manual and downloadable PDF, which I would be sharing, and I will be sharing all the resources with you, because there is a new rule change for the club coaches this particular year of there is an addition that you can get a separate point. I will, when we are going through the slides, I will go through that. Okay. So now what we are going to focus on is what are the club coach qualification, why a club coach is needed, how to be an effective club coach. If this was a workshop for 2 to 3 hours, like what you say, I would have definitely asked you a lot of questions and taken input. But now hold all your questions for that particular question and answer session, what we will be having later, and just have, like what you say, dry run through all these things. So what is a club coach and what do they do basically? Build a rapport, observe and analyze a club environment, help the club develop goals, enable the club to achieve goals, instills enthusiasm, fidelity, and sense of responsibility. And this is one of the worst things that I like to do, reading the presentations. I never advise anybody to do that. But what does this mean? Once you are appointed as a club coach, okay, you need to be invited by the ExCom of that particular club. You need to have a good relation. It cannot be that a district officer has assigned a club coach to a club who have minimum 3 members and maximum 12 members and 1 president and a secretary. And the district officer says that you are a club coach and you need to improve. This is never going to work. From my experience in past 8 years, when you are selecting a club coach, it has to be with a consent and agreement with the club ExCom. The club ExCom needs to say that, yes, we need this particular coach and he is welcome in our club. Because at the end of the day, there are only 2 entities which have a proper legal binding. That is a Toastmaster club and the world headquarters. Rest, everything, area, division, district, region, international directors, they are all there to help either the club or the district to grow members. But if the club ExCom is not in a good term with the club coach, there is nothing going to happen. The club coach is only going to send questions to the president and they are not going to answer, or they are going to answer. So practically building a rapport. And then what to do? Ask me the question if the other slides would not cover in detail. Now, as a coach, what do you get? The benefit is, one is a bigger picture of, like what you said, you are coaching an individual, you are coaching a team, you are coaching an organization. Think about it in that way. Because you will be having one-to-one sessions with the president, the VP membership, and the key ExCom officers. You will be having a group meeting with all of them. And this team meetings will lead the organization, the individual club entity, to grow. So think of it that you have an opportunity to coach an individual, a team, and an entire organization, right? And definitely all leaders in Toastmasters have to have utmost diplomatic skills. Because being a volunteer organization, we cannot push anyone to do something. So that is an amazing thing that we learn over here, being a facilitator and negotiator. Here, this is what I want all of you to look at it. What are the club coach qualification? And if you qualify for this, I would request at least, like what you say, give it a try this year. Give it a try this year and try to help a club, right? And our club growth director is here only. He would be more than happy. And what I had heard from is he has already assigned for 6 clubs. There may be many more clubs that would require your service. So any Toastmaster, a club coach should not be a member of that particular club. That is the first point, at least for the 6 months, the past 6 months. Okay. And he should be an active member of minimum in a club for at least 1 year and served as a club officer for 1 annual term or 2 semi-annual term. In our part of the world, it is mostly we do over here 1 annual term, has completed a minimum of level 2. ACB and ALB are the old CCN, like what you said, when we had the old one. If you have that also, it is fine. Have completed the club coach training module. This is available in your base camp. Not currently coaching any other club. So you should not, at one particular time, you can be coached to only 1 club. Okay. So what are the qualifications? A club must have between 3 to 12 active members in good standing. So the minimum is 3, the maximum is 12. And the coach is not and has not been a member of the club in the past 6 months. You cannot be a member because they don't want you to just be a member and add an extra number over there. Club officers have completed the club coach training module. So ensure that they go to the base camp and they have completed this. Clubs not currently suspended. So if you don't pay your dues for like I believe it is 1 calendar year, your club automatically gets suspended. The CGD can add on this, but the club should not be suspended. Making the club connection, observe club dynamics. Okay, you just read through this. These are all very basic, simple things, and there are a lot of good resources available that I will be sharing with you. So when you are hired as a coach or recruited as a coach, you will conduct a trouble, like what you say, you will observe the club, you will have a meeting with the XCOM, and then you will send a preliminary report to the Toastmasters International, and you have to do that every 60 days. Okay, that I would be sharing with you in detail. Making the club connection. Now foster the sense of ownership, emphasize teamwork, let them know that you are there to help, encourage clubs to use other clubs as models, support addition to their own unique style. Remind the club why they started. Each and every club has got a unique origin story. Remind the clubs why did they start. Okay, so some clubs might have started due to, like, they may be a community club, they had a vision. So what was that vision, particular vision? And what is it, who started is, all those things, get that information. And from the dashboard, get all the numbers. In the last 3 years, there may be a club which was doing good, but then suddenly has dropped. Okay, so the first thing as a club coach, I would say you would do is have a meeting, observe the XCOM, and find a champion in that particular XCOM. There would be at least one member who wants the club to succeed. Term them as a club champion. Okay, and engage them with your further plans. In every area, there would be a mother club. That means there would be a club with more than 30 members. As a club coach, you are like a VP membership on steroids. You will, for that one particular year or 2 particular year, wherever you go, you will speak about your club. You will make connections. So I say that your job would be to connect and to call champions to speak in your club. This is one thing which has many clubs have done to revive their clubs. One is connect with other clubs, have joint meetings. And the reason is, no matter how good speakers you have, if in a meeting, if there are only 4 or 5 members, if a guest comes, if he is treated well, if he feels well, after the meeting, in their mind, they will think, if there are only 4 or 5 members, there is some problem with the club, right? But I have experienced this practically, so I know. So somehow, as a club coach, you need to ensure that you are collaborating with other clubs, giving other role players, calling other role players, and at least having 15 to 20 members so that the meeting room looks decent, whether it is Zoom or a physical one. Have let the club conduct moment of truth, and don't let it be just like what you say, a paperwork. Ensure that all the 6 components of moments of truth, you dig into it in detail, and all the 37 elements, you go one by one, look at the challenges, look at the causes, and look at the solution, and discuss one by one. Okay, so that is it. Something that I would encourage everybody to do that. Complete the club coach progress report 60 days after appointment, and every 60 days until the assignment has conducted. Now, this is something new that has come in, that there are a lot of reports and there are a lot of formalities to be done to engage with Toastmasters International. So it is basically a reporting system. So one, you enter into a club, you have a club coach tracking, like what you say, troubleshooting form, whether you note down what is happening in the club. Like an area director has a moment of truth, a club has a moment of truth, you will have a form which you will check each and every element, and then you will give recommendation in every 60 days till the club becomes distinguished. You will be reporting it to Toastmasters International. So what Toastmasters want from you is, as a club coach, make the club distinguished. That's it. So club meeting, teach the club how to plan and produce club meeting, start and end the meeting on time. Whoever is there on the agenda, they should not back up. These are very basic things that everybody knows. Ensure that the Vice President Education reviews the club leadership handbook. Show club leaders how to find and use other tool, that is online tools that we have available. I will not go on this detail because already DTM Jyotika has covered most of them. Quality clubs have member focused perspective. When a member joins, they join with a goal in mind, right? So what is it? And there is a member interest survey form that you have in Toastmasters. As a president, as a club coach, you can encourage the president that whoever is there, 5, 6, 7 members, let us sit and write down what is it these members want to achieve in Toastmasters as well as outside Toastmasters, and let's see how can we help them. So it takes 20 members to support a club minimum, because any given day there would be any 60% of the members present, that would be around 15 to 16. And to fill an Toastmasters agenda, you need 15 to 16 people, right? Combat attrition, the retention is the most important thing. So whoever is there, add value to them, ensure that they are not going anywhere. So this is what even DTM Jyotika had covered, the annual individual member program, the sponsor program, talk ups, medley and beat up. So add 5 members, create a small committee and run it like an organization is running a brand awareness program. Think of it that as a coach, you need to empower the ExComs, saying that let's think that our club is a brand and organization, and for this particular month, let's make sure that at least 200 people are aware of that this club exists in this part of the world. Okay, so how do you do that? Encourage and help these people in doing that. Retaining members provides continuity and assures a strong leadership base. Every member is responsible for keeping all other members satisfied and involved in the club. You all are very, like what is, recognize achievement. Okay, now this is again what DTM Jyotika had mentioned. In psychology, like what is, they say that whatever gets rewarded gets repeated. That is why it is very important as a coach to guide that particular club. Even acknowledge the smallest achievement that your members are doing, publish it in social media, professional like LinkedIn, whatever it is, so that the members feel valued over there and you are building a brand for that particular member. Think of it in that way. So remember, whatever gets recognized or rewarded gets repeated. The same thing, emphasize the importance of recognizing member. I will not go through all this thing. I will share this with you. Looking to the future, a vision is what members want their club to become. Help members to develop a vision for the club, get their agreement to fulfill the club mission, guide the club to set specific goals. All these things looks good on the like PPT and all this thing. But remember, if you are not able to make or give value to that particular member, if the members don't feel that by coming to this meeting, I am gaining something, nothing is going to work. So as a coach, observe very carefully what is going inside the club. And I would recommend, at least for the first 6 months, attend all the meetings and give your evaluation after the GE has given to the ExCom separately. Club mission, okay, this is something which we'll live by. Teach the club how to use the DCP. So many clubs don't have any idea of how the 10 points are distributed, the education for, membership for, like what you say, all this thing. Take them through the DCP plan and make them understand. If you can sit with them, and this is something which is very big in Europe, USA and Canada, they give a lot of importance to club success plan. When a coach is hired, the first thing is they will sit with the team and they will say that, okay, let's create a club success plan, which is a document that the president needs to submit to the district and to the Toastmasters International. Go through that one by one. It's a lengthy process, but you will enjoy that. Planning is important. Plan is secondary. I will say that. The credit requirement, this is what, if you become a coach, what you need to do. Okay, for a coach to receive credit, the following requirement must be met by June 30. Now, remember the date, June 30. A club is distinguished or better 6-month distinguish or better means like what you say, whatever base you had started, it has added 3 more members, and whatever the requirements were, 6 months minimum term of service as a club or a coach, reporting requirement in the course of fulfillment club coach duties, which I would be sharing, written confirmation of completion, just as the mentor had the form to be completed. Same thing, the president needs to, like what you say that, okay, this coach had done this and this duty. District leader credit awarded if club additionally has a minimum of 20 members. Now, this point has been added new. Earlier, this was not there. One of the requirement of DTM is either a mentor or a coach. But if you make the club distinguish, the club can be, if you had 12 members and add 3 more, 15, the club is distinguished and your job is done, you will get your credit. But if you can make that club 20 members back again, you will get a credit, which usually an area division or a district director also gets. So you will, like what you say, get 2 birds with 1 stone, basically. Like you get the club coach also, and you will get a district award also. So I would challenge you to make it 30. That is what the entertainment, like what is in the fun is in looking for that. Yeah, so I ran through I hope it was not very fast and you got some idea about it. And yeah, it's a good thing that it's still yellow. So I basically believe that whenever we having a conversation, it should be more question and answers. So even like what you say, because that is where all the doubts are cleared. I can speak for 4 hours, 5 hours. I want to know what is there in your mind, what doubts are there, and what is stopping you from becoming a club coach. Thank you very much. And I would be ready to take the questions in the Q&A sessions. And back to you, Toastmaster Anu. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that wonderful session and sharing your experience on what a club coach role is, and especially how they can revitalizing struggling clubs. Now, we have gained a deeper understanding of this critical role in Toastmasters. Now, we've seen 2 segments or 2 layers of a cake. Now is the icing, as DTM Vinod said, when you ask questions, that's really the icing, that's where the learning is. So let's quickly jump on to the next segment. If you have any questions, please post them in the chat and we will take it on in the Q&A segment. So without much ado, I would like to invite the Q&A moderator to take the reins and guide us through this interactive segment. Now, please put your hands for Toastmaster Shamla. Over to you, Toastmaster Shamla.
Good evening, District 127. Everyone can hear me?
Good evening.
Good evening. Good evening, District 127 Club Mentor and Club Coach Training. Distinguished fellow Toastmasters. This is your good chance to clear all your doubts and queries on club mentors and club coach. Come forward and post your questions in the chat box, and we get all the answers, and which will help you in your mentoring, progress and your club coach process. I have a question from DTM Sumita Narayan. I have just been assigned to be a club coach. However, yet to receive an invite from the club ExCom. Do I need to introduce myself? DTM Vinod Panik, take this question.
Thank you very much for the question. So, as I said, the proper process is when we are assigning a club coach, the club ExCom or the president needs to be like what you we need to share with him that we are doing this particular thing. But if that has not been done, we can ask, definitely we can directly call the president and ask, say that I am a club coach for your particular club and I am there to serve you. Can we meet? And I would request to have a physical meeting and attend even if they don't call you, I would say that you can go as a guest and attend a meeting. That is something that I would suggest. Take the first course, because until and unless you have a buy-in of president and excom, no matter how good intentions you have in the world, it is not going to work. So I would definitely, like what you say, no, call the president and say that I am here to serve you. Can I take up a role for your next, any role in your next meeting? Especially if you can say that I can be a G for your club. And if they are not meeting physically, online, please allow me to be the GE or a TMOD, and I will show you, like what you say, help you conduct everything. I hope that answers TM Sunita.
Vinod, may I please?
Yeah.
Thank you very much for this very informative. My name is Safwan Ekadura, I'm VPPR of Division B. Just my question is, I could notice through your very beautiful talk that so many of the tasks related to being a coach are very much related to the tasks related to the role of VPPR. If you can clarify on this point, please. I mean, in Dubai Legends Club, it's very clear to me what I do as a VPPR, but now how can this be related to being a coach as well? Thank you very much.
Thank you, Say, for that question. And VPPR or VP membership. So that's why I use the word VPPR or VP membership on steroids. Okay, because the club coach comes with good experience. They have a better network than the PR or the VP membership of a particular club. Right? So it is easy for them to connect with other clubs, collaborate with them, invite evaluators, invite GE, and it would be more easier for them rather than a PR of a particular club. For example, if you are the VP PR of the club, it may not be that easy because you may not know all the divisions and areas in your particular district. A club coach who generally has some experience may have multi-division experience, can call, like what you, one of the role that I would particularly request all the club coaches to do is invite champions of area, division, district, or anywhere internationally, and tell them to come to the clubs. So that is why I said they are members or PPR on steroids, because they will network, they will collaborate, and they will connect. So connection is what they will be making, linking with, and their job does not come during the meeting, it is before the meeting and after the meeting. So I think, like what you say, you got a gist of what I'm trying to say.
Thank you.
And I would request Jyotika also, also to please add, because she has not only districts, country experience also, so she can share her experience also in this.
Toastmaster Shamla, are you there? Can I ask a question? One thing, DTM Vinod, you had said in your segment about asking why did the club start, or what was the origin story of a club. Now, let's say some of the clubs are maybe 10, 15 years old, and people who started that club, they must have left the country or left the organization and so on. So if you're saddled with some club, a struggling club like that, how do we even get the origin story? What's the identity? Why did that club start? Is there somewhere it's documented, or supposed to be either TMI or the district level?
I believe we can get all the executive committee, like all the people who have served in Nexcom, their data is available in Toastmasters. You don't get the members' detail, and no matter how old a club is, you can hunt people across the world somewhere. For example, like what you say, I believe DTM Jyotika is from Burj, had been a member. So right. They also went through a phase where it went down. And like what you say, some amazing Toastmasters came together. Like it started because of Burj. I think Burj Khalifa engineers, something started that club. And that was the origin story, what I recall. So when you start doing that, bring member, was there. So then it brings back the confidence. Like I am from DSO, Dubai Silicon Oasis Toastmasters. So it's a community club. So why did this club start and how long it took? It took around 2 to 3 years sending email to the authorities. And one fine day after 2.5 years, they replied. So people need to know, understand how challenging it was to start this club, right? How the club started, how it grew. And I would definitely also like DTM Jyotika to add about the Burj experience because she is a member of that. Thanks, Anu.
Yeah, so I'm also the past president of Burj, and what we did was actually there was a time like DTM Vinod said that we went through the highs and lows, and especially when I had joined, we were pretty much in that kind of So what we did was we always had one senior member in the club. Like we had a mentor who knew those people, like Balagam, I think his name was the actual founder or the first president of the club. You wouldn't believe we went and traced him also. And we brought him back to the club for a celebration. So yes, I totally understand. We were probably lucky that, we could get a few people back, but not every time you can do that. But you still find one person who is common to, to your history. So you will get them. Yeah.
We have a question from Toastmaster Michael Leonard Smith. It is a blessing to be assigned as a co-club coach with another DTM candidate and one can complement one another. What advice would you give to newly appointed coaches on how best to work with your counterparts in your coaching role? DTM Vinod.
Thank you. First of all, congratulations. And it's one of a life-changing role that you can, like what a club coach has done. You decide how are you going to communicate first. First, you sit with your club, like what is preferable to you, WhatsApp, email, whatever it is. Have an agreement that this is what we are going to do. If possible, decide the timings also. This would be the timing, this would be the frequency that we can come together and engage with the club. If like what you said, if there are 2 clubs assigned to a club coach, 2 coaches can be assigned, and you are speaking about your like what you say, partner. So with them, make sure that you meet or have a chat and decide what time and what can be the course. Like what are the steps that together we need to help the club to move ahead. Then meet the ExCom, have a moments of truth, observe the club very carefully, what is going inside the club. There may be like what you say, I would say, I don't know whether can I use the words that politics and all these things, but you need to be very careful in observing why the club is not growing. Okay, so understand that and discuss with your coach, your partners, and then decide on the course of action. You have all the tools that you require for, like you say, in this coaching assignments. If you go to the forms, there are a lot of forms that will help you. But first, build rapport with your your partner and with the ExCom, because without that, nothing is going to work. I hope that answers. Moment of truth, observe carefully, attend the meetings, and then have a evaluation meeting with your partner. Thank you. Back to you.
Toastmaster Sahara Ismail has this question. Is the credit mentioned for club coach? What can be used for getting DTM if a person doesn't hold a leadership role in the district?
Yeah, if you don't hold, means that was if you can make the club 20 members. If you can make the membership to 20, for example, you will go into a club with minimum 3 members and maximum 12 members. Okay. To get a credit for a coach, you just need to add 3 more members in that particular cycle. Earlier it was 5. Now this rule is changed to 3. So if you make it 15 and you have served for 6 months, you will get your club coach credit. That is good enough. One of the item line for being a DTM. The second, one of the other item line is to serve as a district officer. That also you can get if you can make the club membership base to 20 by the end of June 30. So you get the club coach credit as well as the district credit also, and you don't need to be an area division or district director. So you get 2 credits together if you have served for 6 months till June 30. Why I am mentioning 6 months again and again is 2 years ago, there were 2 coaches who did an amazing job, made the club distinguished, but they did it in 4 months. And they could not get the, the credit, because it takes minimum 6 months. So ensure minimum 6 months. And if you can add 3 members, you get the club coach credit. But if you can make it 20, the same number that the club started with, basically, then you will get a district officer's credit also. And I hope everybody does that. Whoever is becoming club coach, I wish all the best for that. Back to you, Sham.
Thank you. A question from Toastmaster Ganeshan. Can a member be mentor and coach for the same club?
Yes, you can do that. You can get the credit for whenever you're mentoring. If you've chartered a club and if you're a mentor, you can be a sponsor, not a coach. A coach is different. A coach is when the club actually gets into rough waters, a coach is introduced.
Yeah, the question was for
so
when the club starts. So if somebody can be a sponsor and they can also be a mentor.
Yes, you can. A sponsor
Okay,
and a mentor
great.
together, you can be.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Do we have any more questions from the audience?
Yeah, please. I have a question to DTM Jyotika, if possible.
Yes, sure.
Great. Once again, I'm Saf, VPPR of the Dubai Legends Toastmaster Club. And my question to you is, part of my role is to do promotional activities for the club, including social media. So may I gently ask, I mean, in our club, we do very much well on this. And maybe you're all familiar with the award that we've recently been given through the very beautiful leadership and presidency of our President George Cornpass. And part of that is to do more promotional activities. So may I gently ask you to elaborate on the role of social media channels? And you already mentioned something like the Meta, I believe, or you mentioned in the past it was Meta or
Meetup.
Meta. So if you could please clarify more on this. Thank you.
Right. So what I mentioned is the simplest form of publicity is through social media. So you can use various channels. Now, how will you do it? Obviously, you'll have to have promotion material for that. And one of the ways to do it is the flyers. So have those flyers on time. Newsletter is another brilliant way to do publicity. As much as people find it difficult to do newsletters, but newsletter is one of your promotional materials. You can put in all the activities that you do so that the outside world actually knows there's so much happening in your club. Now, I spoke about Meetup. I don't know if Meetup is still there, but Meetup is Meetup, MEETUP. So this is actually a paid online platform wherein you post your whatever meetings you have, whatever programs you have, events you have, you can post it there. And you have those subscribers who are already there, and they come and they express their interest. So people come to your meetings and join your clubs because we've had great turnout from this particular source. I have no idea if it's still available or not. You can check that out. All right.
It is available.
So social media is something. Now, one thing what I would like to say is that it's good to use social media, but what is important is the consistency. Consistency. So I think this the VPPR has to have that make that conscious effort to be consistent, because that will the more noise you make, the people actually recognize you. So get your flyers out on time, your meeting agenda on time. The flyer is the most important, and make it as attractive as possible. Send it to all of them. Now, social media is one of the ways. There is another way I would like to say is that send messages to people who have attended you in the past. Having their database is very important. And I would like to actually say it was Anoop's club, Gardens Club, that I was morally responsible to attend their club once upon a time. And for the simple reason is that I don't know it was a VPPR or the VP Education. He sent me a personal message saying, these days, Toastmaster Jyotika, thank you very much for attending. I would really appreciate if you attend so-and-so meeting. And he did it once, he did it twice. And I'm like, oh my God, now I have to attend this meeting because this person is taking so much of effort to send me a private message. I'd rather go and attend it. So that is a great way to establish a personal relationship and invite people.
Thank you.
Thank you.